Welcome back to the channel, guys. Let's get straight into today's story. Politics never sleeps, and apparently neither does the shadow of Tony Blair. The former Prime Minister, who has long dominated Labour's memory and ideology, is reportedly plotting a sweeping policy overhaul aimed at rescuing the party from what he sees as a dangerous lurch to the left under the current leadership. Sources suggest Blair, through his think tank, is quietly drafting new policy ideas across healthcare, welfare, the economy and technology, all with the goal of pulling Labour back towards a Blairite, new Labour-style centre ground. God help us. Insiders say Blair is frustrated. He apparently believes the recent leadership missteps, combined with high-profile budget decisions, have left Labour vulnerable and ideologically adrift. His team sees the party as moving too far left, and rather than publicly intervening, Blair is quietly laying the groundwork for what could be a dramatic influence on Labour policy and possibly the next leadership direction. But this is about more than policy tweaks. For those paying attention, it's clear Blair's blueprint could signal a power play. He is reportedly watching the leadership closely, gauging potential successors, and positioning himself as the ultimate kingmaker for Labour. For a man who has long been accused of centralising power and bypassing grassroots input, this should raise eyebrows. Blair's record shows a tendency to prioritise global ambitions and ideological agendas over local concerns. And if Labour lets him pull the levers again, we could see a return to policies that threaten national sovereignty, stricter fiscal discipline and border security. All areas where Blair-era approaches are often controversial. History provides context. Blair's new Labour years were marked by open-door immigration policies, major interventions abroad and massive spending programmes, all justified as modernisation and progress. Critics argue these decisions weakened Britain's independence, strained public services and led to growing discontent in many communities. Now, decades later, the same influence is quietly creeping back under the guise of a policy overhaul and party renewal. For voters who care about British first policies, this isn't just behind the scenes think tank exercise. This is a potential return to the same establishment politics that left the country divided. Moreover, Blair's intervention comes at a politically sensitive time. Labour is trying to rebuild its credibility with voters after internal conflicts and public disillusionment. If Blair's ideas take hold, the party risks alienating grassroots supporters, energising critics and handing an advantage to opponents who argue that Labour is being steered by the same old figures, rather than listening to the electorate. In practical terms, this could mean more spending, more centralisation of power and more decisions taken in Westminster or Brussels, instead of focusing on the immediate needs of communities across Britain. And let's not underestimate the messaging. Blair's modernisation rhetoric has always sounded polished. Words like renewal, progress and global Britain are appealing in theory, but in reality they often come with consequences ordinary voters feel: rising energy costs, crowded public services and policies that seem out of touch with local priorities. If Labour lets Blair back into the heart of decision making, these same issues could return, quietly shaping the country's direction before most people realise it. For anyone who values strong borders, fiscal responsibility and putting Britain's citizens first, this is a moment to pay attention. Blair's influence isn't just about old ideas or history legacy, it's about how the party that claims to be modern and forward-looking may still be beholden to the old figures whose policies caused controversy in the past. The next moves Labour make could determine not just the party's future, but also the country's direction for years to come. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy honest political commentary, hit subscribe and stick around for more.